The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Happy Wednesday, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez, and Jazz Monet. I'm about sick of you. I'm sick.
No.
You cut off the no.
Because I'm sick and tired of her not joining in. We
I have to hear the pitch
duet.
first. It's like a different pitch every time.
I think
so
you guys
you
should
got
level
you got to
each
go
other out.
first.
That shade. That saying I can't sound good.
Ooh.
Oh,
barnacles.
What?
Get your
I'm just
umbrella.
playing.
That was shady.
Oh my goodness. I was just
It is
playing.
raining outside.
Love
so.
my girls.
No,
man.
it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
But no, I'm gonna try that again. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez, and Jazz Monet.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Now
What's
it's
that?
now
Oh
it's
my
God. Y'all gonna get us
doing?
turned off. Oh
Now
my
it's giving
God.
Shanae.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, it's raining.
How are y'all doing?
Oh my God. We're
What
good.
time is it?
We're good. No.
Oh God,
Just-
we're good. We're fantastic.
just do
We're
the sound.
phenomenal.
Look,
do
I'm
the
gonna
sound.
tell
Amazing.
the truth. It's cloudy outside. It's been a long week already. We are here.
Yeah.
We are ready to do a good show for the
That
fans out there.
part.
But
Good job, Jazz. Yeah.
we're having to
here.
work through some things.
We are.
We're here though.
But you know what?
We're here for y'all.
We're out
It's
here.
time to wake up. Get up, y'all. We about to have some energy on this show today. All right. Quick little update from Mike McCarthy's press conference while we wait for the official practice report. DeMarcus Lawrence was working today with Britt Brown. Zach Martin did not participate in practice today. Trayvon Diggs was a part of the team's walkthroughs earlier this week, and I did spot him at practice today. So at least good spirits there. Jake Ferguson also was working off to the side with Lunda Wells. So good sign to see Jake Ferguson back on the field, and hopefully we will see him Monday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. But talking about just the updates, hopefully we do get the confirmation on who practiced, who did not today, and in just a few minutes. But just for the current guys that we do know about, how good does it feel to just see a guy like Jake Ferguson back in the fold?
I mean, just from a health perspective, that's good. I don't know what it means as far as him like being active this week, but I've seen some horrendous things happen to people's lives after concussion. So if he's feeling good enough to get back out there, practice, and be engaged, good. That's a good sign. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. I mean, and just the morale boost in general that Jake brings. I mean, we talk about guys that have that infectious energy. That's Jake Ferguson. I mean, that guy, he is a lead by example kind of leader, but he's also one of those just locker room guys where he does not shut his yap. Like, he is hilarious. He brings the mood, he brings the energy, brings the fun. But when it's time to work, he's laser focused. And so I think he's really good for the rest of the tight end room to have around too. And I know that tight end room, like we've talked about, just really rallies around him. So happy for Jake. Hopefully we see him sooner rather than later.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I really hate this season.
Oh my. Straight
Sure,
like
you're
that.
allowed.
All right.
Straight to the point.
Nah, like
Yeah.
That's what it is.
like
yeah.
I just feel like with all the injuries and just how things have like transpired and stuff, it's just like, and Jake I feel like he can't catch a break. Like, he had just started feeling better from that MCL sprain that he had been dealing with for the season, and you kind of saw him get into a flow, and then all of a sudden he has the concussion. And if you go look at the play, he just like hits his head, like he's like face planting. So it's just like, to Jazz's point, concussions, head injuries are serious. So if he is ready to go, it's fine. Maybe this team can get into some 12 personnel for the love of muffins. Some successful 12 personnel with how they're trying to run the ball, but also too with Schoonmaker and Brevin Spann-Ford. He needs supporting cast.
Absolutely.
And this time he's been out, these guys have seen a little bit more of an uptick in production, also because Cooper Rush ain't trying to pass the ball downfield. But I just think that, yes, I think that
Girl.
I think that they him coming back is good for also too some of the things you'll be able to do to open up your playbook also as well. So yeah, That doesn't mean don't throw the ball to Turpin no more.
That right. You can still have both. Both
Like,
things
can have
can
everything.
exist together.
That don't mean that because they've
can
been
have
using
it all.
Turpin. They've been using Turpin to attack the middle of the field where Ferg typically does.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you can't still. You can have. It's okay to have both.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
It's fine. It's safe.
Per what
no
we've
one's
seen,
gonna.
Yeah.
wouldn't think so.
So yeah, happy to have him back for the football aspect as well.
Yeah, and it sucks that, a guy like Jake Ferguson, who had a breakout year last year.
That's why I said the season's
second,
up.
Yeah, second on the team in receptions.
Yeah.
His production's certainly gone down because of just the
Yeah.
struggles his offense has had start the season and leading up until a couple of weeks ago. But you talk about a guy who has an infectious kind of spirit with this locker room. Dak Prescott, of course, has that as well. I mean, I'd hope so as your franchise quarterback. But him taking over social media and national headlines, had an interview with NFL reporter Joy Epstein and
Love her.
addressing
Love
Mike
her, by the
McCarthy.
way.
Really?
She's
good.
the best.
That's
She's
dope.
fantastic.
She really, if you don't follow Jory's work, please go do it. She is one of the best reporters that I've ever gotten to work around. So love her. Just have to throw that out there.
No, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else was dope was Dak Prescott coming into defense to Mike McCarthy. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Yeah, that I believe in him wholeheartedly. I don't want to necessarily get into the nuts and the screws of it all, obviously, but I think he definitely deserves a chance, another contract, and a chance to coach this team amongst and kind of, I guess you can say, more influence on his terms. Maybe a good way to say it. But I wholeheartedly believe in him. The guys won a Super Bowl. I know Jerry's attested to that. There's not many guys or coaches who have done that, and to have one that can do it from experience, and I know how valuable he's been for me. Yeah, that I believe in him wholeheartedly. I don't want to necessarily get into.
I guess we have to
One
hear
more
the
time.
second one more time.
Obviously,
Run it back.
but
No,
I think he
but just hearing Dak Prescott speak so highly, which, I mean, it's not a secret. Like, he's always come to the defense for Mike McCarthy because of how he's helped him grow as a quarterback, how he's helped him grow as a man, and he's always spoke very highly of just the role that Mike McCarthy has played in his life. What's y'all's thoughts on just what he had to say as a whole? Anybody can...
I was not surprised. I mean, it was a very strategic way of Dak saying things while you read between the lines of what he's saying. And so for me, I really wasn't surprised. And, it's been a very unpopular opinion, and Aisha tweeted it, and I was like, retweet, because, yeah, anybody that has gotten to talk to Dak or even just hear what he says, or, you've been around him during this entire tenure of his career, the difference, even when talking about, Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy has really been Dak's coach, if you will. Not any shade to Jason Garrett. It's just Mike McCarthy has really poured into Dak Prescott in ways that work for him. The down-the-hall meetings and the way that Mike McCarthy really emphasizes family and mental health. It's just aligning with what Dak Prescott is as a quarterback. And, I think... Again, it's an unpopular opinion from me, I guess, to most fans. But if you decide to go a separate way from Mike McCarthy, I don't agree with it in terms of what that does for Dak Prescott's evolution, where he's come. I'm not saying changes don't necessarily need to be made after this season and that they might not be or they will. I don't know. But I do think for Dak Prescott's sake, and you can argue he's a veteran quarterback, he can adjust. I just think if you really are serious about having a playoff caliber team, you have to keep a coach that has gotten you to the playoffs, for most of his coaching tenure, because there's a 1% chance still. Okay, guys, there's still a chance. But overall, for now, overall, I'm not shocked. And the way he went about it was very strategic, saying what he needed to say, but also leaving some unspoken that you... Like I said, you can decipher, and I appreciate the way Dak handled that.
I think it was important for two reasons. One, it's something that we haven't heard a lot this season from players in terms of Mike McCarthy as a coach. We've heard especially Dak talk about their closeness and, you know, the way that Mike McCarthy has been there for him, you know, through these changes in his personal life, you know, becoming a father, so on and so forth. But we haven't heard players speak up and talk about Mike McCarthy as a coach and what that means. A couple of weeks ago when CeeDee Lamb mentioned that he loved Mike McCarthy, that was the first time all season we'd heard a player even say it. And so I think it was really important for Dak to follow up so that people didn't think that was a fluke or he was just saying that. Like, no, there are guys in this locker room who actually do appreciate Mike McCarthy. When you think about it, it makes sense. There has been a lot of conversation about moving on from Mike McCarthy, and I understand why from a fan perspective that would be the popular opinion. However, when you think about, like, you put that in context and you think about who they'll likely move on to, it's hard to think about someone who's a better fit for the team right now than Mike McCarthy. Because one, just the fact that he's been able to keep these guys invested with everything that's happened this season, not only the losses, but also the injuries, also just all the negative headlines and just drama and mess, if we're being real, that happened earlier this season. The fact that he's been able to keep a healthy enough culture in the locker room to where here they are at 5-7, and a lot of, if not all of those guys are still excited to play and still looking forward to something happening this season and still going out there and giving their best. I think that says a lot. And then you also consider the fact that, you know, just establishing a culture in an organization where there's such a dominant culture already. Like, let's be real. What Jerry Jones brings to the table as an owner influences everything underneath him. So a lot of coaches are not going to have what it takes to come in and establish a culture underneath something like that. They wouldn't be able to compete. Mm-hmm. So for him to not only be able to do that, but also do it in a way that prioritizes the mental health and the physical health and just the overall well-being of the players. And it, for the most part, outside of this season and a couple of other unfortunate instances, it doesn't really seem to interfere with who they are as competitors. I think that's special, and I think you're not going to find a lot of people who can do that. So if they can, great. But I think if you were to move on from Mike McCarthy, you would be losing that. And I think that is a lot more important than a lot of people recognize when it comes to how these players will show up and do their job.
Boom.
That was good.
No, I mean,
that was good.
It's not a lot to say after you ladies talk about it like that, but I will say I agree with the fact that a head coaching change at this point in Dak's career would be drastic. And they are already, you know, they have had to try to tweak this offense multiple times in season to get comfort with it and figure it out. So to me, it's also too looking at Dak at the latter part of his career. Keep it 1,000. Like, this is the latter part of his career. This is an important, pivotal part of his career. You have him for four more years. Like, this time right here is pivotal. The head coaching change would be a lot. And again, like the install and the process and all those things. We're just now seeing on the defensive side that it's just now coming together. You know, like, guys are just now starting to get it. So that's something that concerns me as well. I will say in regard to Mike McCarthy, I don't mind him being the head coach. I think the players do rally for him. You can tell on the field. If you watching any type of tape, you see, like, they're playing with effort despite the fact that where they are at this point, to your point about the locker room. However, I do feel like play calling is something that I would hope he would be willing to look at or consider. And again, it's all difficult because he is the head coach. If they would bring someone in, he has to okay it. It's complicated. But for the betterment of your team, I do think that maybe play calling is something that I would hope he would be open to maybe sharing or whatever the case may be. I don't understand him and Shotty's dynamic at all. I don't
either.
From what it was explained to me is that Brian Schottenheimer is kind of the prep. He preps for the week. He does all the preparation and things like that with the players. And obviously Mike McCarthy is the
implementer.
He facilitates it on game day. So that's kind of their dynamic. But listen to Brian Schottenheimer talk and listen to Mike McCarthy talk about offense. It sounds like two different things.
I was just about to say.
And so I'm not gonna push too hard on that, but that's where I'm gonna leave that at. As far as what Dak's comments, what stood out to me the most was the second half of what he said. Well, the second part of what he said, and that was when he said, if that's the right thing to say. or if that's the right way to say it. That lets me know that he's trying to be careful with how he conveys this information. He was trying to be respectful. Dak is intelligent. We know this. Like, he's not just saying things, he's be saying things. But I also feel like, given how we know clear as day, we talked about it, like, we were excited about this season, but the reality is you didn't touch free agency. You didn't know what you were going to get from your 2023 draft class from last year, and you came in with this draft class with a lot of projected picks. So you had no idea what you were getting. You lost people, and you didn't do anything about it. You didn't go out in free agency. You didn't do anything. Like, we had our defensive coordinator at the end of training camp, whose system is predicated on good nose tackle play, saying, yeah, I got to get a nose. Dog. So it also, too, I think he is also saying tater tots. I think he is also saying, he's also saying in that is that I think he's saying, like, they weren't dealt the best cards going into this season as well. And hopefully that Mike McCarthy will get the opportunity to have what he needs, you know, to help this team go forward. But this was, we were hoping and wishing on a prayer, sister.
Yeah. No,
with certain things, like, seriously, like, what's going on here? So.
Well, they still have a couple more games left. They're
What's
still fighting for. We'll get to that in a second. They're still fighting for to stay alive in the playoff picture. So we're gonna take our first break. Up next, we're gonna break down some Bengals Cowboys matchup and some news that just came out. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The most electrifying, actually, I'm just kidding, it's Wednesday. Celebrate the holiday season at AT&T Stadium. Get a tour of the home of the Dallas Cowboys, plus your photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus from December 10th through the 14th. Limited inventory is available, so secure your tickets at
AT&Tstadium.com/tours. Go ahead, get your tickets, get all that. All right, I love how I made a whole rundown, but clearly, like,
the
news,
timing. The timing
happens.
Love that.
Amani Oruwariye was designated to return to practice today. That was after he went down for a back injury in Week 8 against the 49ers. Thoughts on that? Because the Cowboys also worked out Xavier Howard, who had spent time with the Miami Dolphins for a couple of years, and clearly the lines are. I guess that kind of answers the question about how the workout went.
Yeah.
Maybe. And again, this is not us saying or clarifying or saying anything. We're just going by with what the news just
Yeah.
I mean, or
Cowboys PR tweeted it. So Cowboys PR tweeted it. So that's
yeah.
Or he asking for too much money.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
We don't know.
We don't know.
He's a name.
We don't know.
Our thoughts.
But he is the name. Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
We like to disclaim
let me
stuff
just-
out here.
Jesus.
Thoughts on Amani Oruwariye coming back, because this is obviously saying something, because you possibly get Trayvon Diggs back. Deron Bland still on a snap count. But you have guys like Jamar Chase. I don't know, maybe that's a name in the NFL.
Pray Saints.
T. Higgins. I don't know. I mean, a couple of guys on the Bengals offense that definitely will give you a test. Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Y'all talked about it, I think yesterday, with Josh Butler going down. That really took a hit on, I think, what Zim was planning to do going forward, because I think he was kind of the secret weapon that nobody expected. And yeah, they were playing up those unscouted looks with Josh like nobody's business, to say, oh, you think you don't know this guy? Okay, go have fun, Josh. And so, again, sending Josh all of the love and prayers for fast healing and recovery, because it really sucks to see a guy like that go down. But yeah, I mean, you need it. DB room is struggling, and no matter if it's Monday or going forward, you need DBs. Like, that is your most struggling room right now. And at this point, I think you kind of just have to accept that, yeah, you are what you are as that unit right now. You have Trayvon Diggs, coming back from injury potentially. You have Deron Bland on the uphill from an injury. You're a banged up room, and you need bodies at this point.
But is he healthy? 100%, because this is a back injury.
Look, he's had what was the math that we determined? How many weeks?
Oh, week 8 he went down. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, he's had a sufficient time, I think, to nurse back to health.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't see them doing this unless he was ready to go, because you know how Mike McCarthy is with the pitch counts and everything. Once somebody comes back, he eases them back in. He doesn't just throw them back in. So that might even, I would expect to see Deron take a little uptick in snaps this week from what he had last week. He had more than expected last week, I believe in the 80 percentile of snaps. So I think you're going to continue to see Deron uptick, so that takes a little less stress off of Amani anyways for having to take more of those snaps. So at this point, you need guys. You need guys, and that's just where we are at the situation we're in. You can control what you can control. You need DBs. That's just what's happening.
Yeah, and not only do they need DBs, especially just the depth is definitely going to be needed this week, just because of how the secondary is probably going to be stressed. Like, one of the most important things when it comes to a defense facing Joe Burrow is you have to have quality coverage. Like, you cannot afford to make mistakes, not keep up, slip up, which we have seen that from pretty much every single one of the Dallas Cowboys corners at some point this season, right? The thing about Joe Burrow is he is especially adept at taking advantage of it, probably because he has to. He has a lot to make up for when it comes to the shortcomings of the Bengals on both sides of the ball. But he seems to be really good at, when you think he's on the run, or you think that he's not paying attention, or he might miss something, and you give up exactly the window that he's looking for, even whenever he escapes the pocket, which hopefully doesn't happen too much on Monday. But he'll escape the pocket, and you'll see people kind of come out of coverage in response to what he's doing. And next thing you know, it makes an opening for him to get the ball off. So you're going to need enough people in rotation just for somebody to get a break, because he's going to try people. That's what he does.
I'm honestly going to play devil's advocate here and say I'm less worried about it, because I think they're really going to. I think Diggs practicing today is a good sign.
Yeah.
And I believe that, in watching Joe Burrow, to your point, this is an intelligent player. The accuracy is through the roof. He has a lot of skill in being able to place the ball where only his receivers can get it. Obviously, the deep ball is a big part of what they do. Jamar Chase is going to, the run after catch and some of the things they're able to do downfield, big plays, big explosive plays. I think if Trayvon Diggs is ready to go, I'm a lot less stressed about it. I think Amani, being able to come back is important for a depth piece, but I am less worried about it if Trayvon Diggs is possibly, maybe going to be able to play. So for me, I also feel like, too, this is not a quarterback that turns the ball over that much. You have to make him. You have to slip him up with your fronts. You have to slip him up with your looks. A lot of teams opt to play too high against these guys because they scared. They're scared. They're trying to keep a lid on it, right? And so Dallas is probably going to do some of that. But this is kind of why you hired Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer you have to have smart. Your secondary has to be smart to play in a Zimmer system because of the disguises he does on the back end, because of the responsibilities and some of the stuff that he asks specifically his safeties to do. I think that they're going to have to change the picture on him. Not saying he can't read it.
Yeah.
And when I say change the picture, I mean maybe they're showing a coverage, but at the last second they're in a different coverage. Like, you got to trip up some of the stuff he does.
I was watching just videos of the sacks against Joe Burrow, and it seems like the teams that were successful in actually getting home, that's exactly what they were doing. Because they were showing blitz, but then once the ball was snapped, they would only send 4, and they were getting to him with 4.
Yes, and that's something that I think that we'll see Mike Zimmer implement. This is a guy that can beat the blitz. Let's not be,
Absolutely.
We have to be honest with ourselves about it. But I do think you do have guys on this defensive line that can get there. They got to finish because Jazz made a really good point about the 2.3, which is like he will sit. He trusts big plays are opening up for him, so he will sit in that pocket. He feels pressure. He can navigate the pocket very well. But this is one of the all-around quarterbacks in the NFL, y'all. Like, he can do it all. So if you get close to him, you better touch him.
Yes.
Sniff him something.
He's literally one of the best on film and statistically.
If you have the opportunity to take the ball away, you better take the ball away. You can't have dropped interceptions to get this guy.
Yeah.
And also, too, like, and if you're rushing the passer, you better tackle him.
Yeah.
Like, this team has to finish. This is a yak team that you're going up against. And I'm not just talking about just from the quarter. Like, the quarterback can run, the running back can run, and so can all the dang receivers. So, to me, I think this is a game that you do. This is the type of game that you do hire Mike Zimmer for, to go against this type of quarterback. So I'm curious to see how he does things in this game.
I was telling Nicole last night when we were talking about kind of the rundown, I said, I think people see Joe Burrow as this younger quarterback because of like his glory days, his prime days, Joe Cool. They forget he's a veteran quarterback now that knows how to play like a veteran quarterback in situations, the 2-minute football situations. Look, here's the thing about Joey B. He will put you in a position where even if it's close and you're talking fourth quarter, all 4 quarters of football are not played, he's going to come back and bite you. So this is, to your point, both of you, a team that this is going to test your skills to play all full 4 quarters of football through and through. And they will definitely attack the weaknesses, and they will keep doing that because Joe Burrow, again, knows how to play like a veteran quarterback, despite what his defense is doing.
Joey B.
Yeah, that's why I want Trayvon. That's why I want Trayvon to play. Because it's to me, if Trayvon's out there, it's a little. He's gonna have to place the ball.
He's still going to try, though.
He's still going to try.
Hear me out. Okay, so let's say that, let's hope this does not happen, but let's say the Cowboys don't get pressure, right? Don't get any sacks, don't get home. How else can the Cowboys slow down a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Are there any other ways that they can slow them down?
I mean, not consistently. No? The D-line is going to have to be on it, which when you were talking about the importance of taking the ball away and getting home, I think you would have liked practice today because it did seem to be an emphasis on that in the few minutes that we were there. But no, when it comes to Joe, because he will score. That's the one thing that we haven't touched on yet is just the amount of points that they will score and still lose because Joe Burrow is out there fighting for his life and doing literally everything in his power to try to will this team to a win.
Despite their defense not being that
exactly.
good. Yes.
And I think if anybody does or did think of Joe Burrow as a young quarterback, he's definitely corrected that perception because all I hear now is people talking about the fact that this is one of the best years of his career. Like, I think he's under 1% when it comes to interception. So back to your question, I don't think there's another way to consistently stop him. I know people want to think of it as like, okay, well, their pass game is very dominant. They're doing a lot of, I think, hold on, I did take notes on this. So when it comes to their passing game, they have 30 receiving TDs on the year versus 9 rushing TDs, almost triple the yards per game from pass versus rush, and 50% more yards per play when they're passing versus running the ball. So I think a lot of people are thinking of it kind of in the terms that you presented of like, okay, so our secondary has got to be on it. But actually, this is one of the games where one of the points that you make often is going to be up to the D-line to do their job in order for everybody to behind them to have a good game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that pass rush is going to be important, and containing will be important, but they're going to have to do way more than just contain. They are going to have to put him on the ground to stop him, because like Aisha said, he can navigate the pocket. So even if you get him on the run, even if you get him looking distracted, it's not enough. Sometimes he'll look distracted just to distract you. He'll look the other way and don't.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Like he looks like old dude from Home Alone grown up. He like
You did not just call him Macaulay Culkin.
I'm dead. She did.
Nah,
She definitely
he's
did.
like, nah.
It's fine.
You remember on Family Matters when Steve Urkel went to be like What is it?
Stefan?
Stefan. So
I'm
he's
done.
basically he's
done.
the Stefan.
So
He's
Steve
Macaulay.
Urkel is to Stefan as Macaulay Culkin is to Joe Burrow.
Track
love
it.
that.
You got it. But he
And you know
I
what
hate
they have?
you.
They're fearless.
No,
They're fearless.
Y'all don't understand. Like, he seems so nice. You're like, oh, look at Joe Burrow.
That's
And
what I'm
then
saying.
He's a competitor.
Yeah.
If Awarie is out there,
Amani Arari.
Amani Awarie, he's gonna be like,
Oh,
okay.
bet.
He's
Yeah.
that type of quarterback where if he sees a weakness, he's gonna go at it. It's my favorite type of quarterback.
Not only will he do it,
Yeah.
but Chase and Higgins will
Everyone
do it too.
else will
If
too.
you
I'm
watch
gonna pray
them,
about it.
and you can see it's almost like they're letting you think that you're keeping up with them, and then at the last second it's like, oh no, 3 yards of separation. I'll take that ball. I'll get that yak in.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's something that we talked about yesterday, was that the fact that they've scored 99 points in their losses.
Sister.
That's insane.
They
insane.
have averaged
99
35
points.
points in their last 4 games.
When I tell you,
35
I
last
had
4?
to go check multiple websites, be like, wait, what? Because the first time I saw that, it just didn't click that was actually a thing. I was like, and y'all
We
losing
acted so
games?
surprised.
No, here
We've
it
been,
is.
we acted
They've
so surprised
had-
we've been
It's
there.
crazy.
No,
Six.
right.
Hold on. 6 losses scoring 25 or
Right.
more. 4 losses scoring 33 or more. 3 losses scoring 34 or more. Or 2 losses scoring 38 or more. It's all the most in NFL history. So I think the question is, it's like we do want to ask, how do we stop Joe Burrow? But I think ultimately the question is,
How
how
do we
is the
keep
Cowboys offense going to score?
Yes.
We've never seen them score that
And
much.
that's what we're going to touch on in the next break. We're going to take our last break of the show. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
The 2025 NFL Pro Bowl games are taking over Orlando, and the roster is up to you. Cast your ballot for the 2025 Pro Bowl games, vote, and send your favorite Dallas Cowboys players to compete in the ultimate AFC versus NFC showdown this February. Vote now at probowl.com/vote.
Right now, I believe Kawante Turpin and Brandon Aubrey right now lead
I'm not sure.
in the Pro Bowl.
My
Makes
jaw
sense.
stayed in place. Yeah.
Pro Bowl votes. All right, go ahead and vote. for all your favorite players. Okay, Cowboys offense has been a struggle, but certainly improving the last couple of weeks. Let's talk about that. But you think about the defense, the Bengals defense giving up 28.3 points per game. The Cowboys offense averaging 20 points per game. The math,
It's mathing.
it's not mathing for me.
Is it
mathing for you?
I
How do the Cowboys manufacture
I wish
points
it
against the
wasn't
Bengals?
mathing. That's the problem.
That's why I was about to say, like, they defense
mathing. I
ain't
just
even that
wish it
good.
wasn't.
Well, yeah, there we go. Math is not. Math is mathing. There we go.
I wish it was not mathing like it's
There
mathing.
we go.
Yeah.
Just a little. It's
I
still
think,
Wednesday. It's fine.
I don't know if it's mathing or not mathing. I'm gonna just tell you the conclusions I've drawn from the math. But I
my
think
equation.
this will be a game where the Cowboys offense scores more points than they normally do. There's going to be a lot more opportunities there. Will they score enough points to outscore Joe Burrow? That is the question. Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense. So when it comes to the defense, I think they're going to need some help there. I think they're going to need a defensive touchdown or at least a solid run back after a turnover, hopefully. When it comes to the offense, I think they are going to, in addition to scoring points, obviously, they are going to have to do that whole complimentary football thing that Mike McCarthy has been talking about for a long time, and we're kind of starting to see, where we can't have these 3 and outs. We can't have these drives that go like 15 yards and then you're off the field. They are going to have to help in terms of time of possession, because the more opportunities that you give Joe Burrow, the more opportunities he's going to take advantage of. Yeah. So one of the best things that the offense can do is make sure that they are going the length of the field, ending with a touchdown, obviously, instead of settling for field goals. I mean, shout out to Brandon Aubrey. Like, we love him and everything, but I don't want this to be like a career week for him.
Lord,
Please.
please no.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
What I will say is, again, I was talking to Nicole last night. We were yapping away about this game because, yeah. But something that I noticed when doing a little deep dive here is, you're scoring points on the offensive side of the ball, but the grass ain't always greener, Cowboys Nation, because what's going on over there with the Bengals? Yeah, their offense is producing and productive with scoring points. It's their defense that is kind of their Achilles heel this season, if you will. And so when I was deep diving, kind of what it seems like is the Bengals have been drafting in hopes to develop, not fully developing their young players. It even goes back to these articles I was reading talking about how in the 2021 draft, the Bengals drafted 9 defensive players in the top 100, none of which have even seen a Pro Bowl at the very least. And then you continue going down. So what the Bengals are trying to do is kind of recreate this defensive system with younger talent. It's just not coming through in a timely way as they wish that it was. And so, I'm not to say it can't, not to say it won't in the next couple of years, but you're dealing with a lot of really young guys here on the defensive side of the ball. So for the Cowboys offense, what that can translate to, well, they're younger guys. They're still learning. Get in their heads, confuse them, and we were talking about Brock Hoffman last night, and kind of how he gets in their heads by being yappy, and that's his method to doing it. But there's other ways to get in players' heads and kind of make them question, what they're doing and if their game plan is working. I think this is a game where you need to see a side of Cooper Rush who could potentially use his eyes as a weapon to kind of throw people off, a little bit of window dressing. And again, this is a game I would love to see Ferg back for with that in that sense. But yeah, man,
they haven't done well against tight ends either.
It's just frustrating because this is a defense that this Cowboys team can absolutely take advantage of, but they have to be productive in the red zone. Again, we've been talking about it for, this whole season, last season? They have to be productive in the red zone. If they don't score, consistently touchdowns, or they're not consistently scoring touchdowns, or they're not getting pick sixes, Brandon Aubrey is just, it's not going to do it this week. You have to score this week.
Yeah.
To your
To
your point about Ferg coming back possibly, the tight ends that have gone against this Bengals defense, they've done really well when they're used as pass catchers, I should say. So far, they've allowed on the season for tight ends 63 catches for 684 yards and 7 touchdowns, which doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but for tight ends specifically, those are some, pretty significant numbers to say that the defense has allowed that for this season. So
You said, wait, can you run that back one more time?
63 catches for 684 yards. So in a nutshell, tight ends going up against this defense are having some really big games when they're used as pass catchers. And so to your point about, these younger guys and what they're expected to do, people have been expecting a lot more from Logan Wilson and who's the other guy? Jermaine. I don't know. There are a couple of linebackers that are usually but they have a couple of linebackers that a lot of Bengals fans seem to have been hoping will step up, who so far have not shown that. And so if that continues, we could expect a big game from the tight ends.
Yeah, it's Jermaine Pratt.
Yes, that's the name. I can't read my own handwriting. I don't know what happened here.
To your point, they got some guys. They have a couple guys at different position groups. I got a lot of respect for Von Bell out there. Their safety. Jordan Battle is a player I got some respect for. To your point, Jess, you do got some younger guys out there. They dealt with some injuries at the beginning of the year to their safety room. Sheldon Rankins is a guy that I have a lot of respect for. Obviously, Trey Hendrickson is going to. He's going to take a couple guys to church a couple times on Monday. That's just, goes without saying. But as far as their defense goes, on both sides of the ball, I think the Cowboys' game plan needs to come. Their game plan needs to be to come out and be extremely aggressive. Like, I do think if you look at this Cowboys defense, obviously their strength is their defensive line. Cincy's one of their weaknesses of their team is their offensive line. That's why they are passing the way that they are passing, because they are not efficient running the ball in any way. Like, quite literally, they have success at times because they will use Chase Brown as a receiver and things like that. And they use it obviously for the play action and things. But no, they're not running the ball well, so they do have to pass the ball. So we're looking at anyway, yeah. So I'm looking at Dallas. I would expect for them to come out very aggressive. On the offensive side of the ball, and that's going to allow your strong point, which is your defensive line, to get after it and be able to rush the passer and hopefully force some turnovers as well.
I think there's a word for that.
Complementary football. Yeah, that's
something Mike McCarthy has been loving to say all year long, and they're finally getting a chance to show and display that. Specifically the last couple of weeks. All right, we have to go. This has been great. For Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarez, Jazz Monet, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll be back here tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!